How you doing, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of Wilde's Mailbox here at ESPNMilwaukee.com and ESPNMadison.com. As we get ready for the regular season finale between the 10-5 Packers and the 10-5 Cardinals in Arizona, which very well could be a preview of next week when we probably will return to Arizona for the first round of the NFC playoffs. Today's question comes via email, and it's a very simple one. It's from Sean, and Sean wants to know, Jason, what do you think of the Pro Bowl selections? Obviously, the Packers end up with 3 Pro Bowlers this season. Charles Woodson, who is a starter at corner, Nick Collins, who is a reserve at safety behind Darren Sharper, and Aaron Rodgers, who's the third quarterback along with Drew Brees and you-know-who. I guess my first inclination is to talk about Rodgers, who obviously has, in 2 years, done some pretty impressive things. And there was some criticism of him last year, that he only went 6-10 as a starter, that he didn't win a lot of close games. Well, this year he's 10-5, and he threw for 4,000 yards again, 29 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. And I'm anxious to see if this is finally what it takes for Packers fans who still have kind of a Favre hangover to embrace him. They can still feel the way they feel about Favre and maybe feel the same way about Ted Thompson as they felt, but I think this is about time that they embrace Aaron Rodgers. As for the other two, Charles Woodson was a no-brainer. I'm anxious to see if he wins the Defensive Player of the Year award. And Nick Collins, I think he's been terrific. I think he was better than he was last year when he went to the Pro Bowl the first time. Now, for the snubs, I thought the only Packer that really has a legitimate beef, although I do think Clay Matthews, who is a reserve or is an alternate behind Brian Orakpo, who I think he's had a better season than Brian Orakpo, so I think he may have an issue. But beyond that, the only person that I thought had a real beef was Ryan Grant, who ran for 1,200 yards in the first 15 games. He has more yards than D'Angelo Williams of Carolina. He's got more touchdowns, and I really thought that he deserved to go. But I think we can sum up the, I don't want to say ridiculousness of the Pro Bowl balloting, but the subjective nature of it with 2 things. One, the starting left tackle for the NFC is Bryant McKinney, who was bad enough to get benched at Carolina 2 weeks ago by Coach Brad Childress, although Chile seemed to be trying to bench a few people that game. And the other thing was that A.J. Hawk was named as one of the alternates at linebacker. Now, I am not an A.J. Hawk hater like there are a lot of other people out there, but I thought if any other linebacker should have been in the conversation from the Packers, it probably should have been Nick Barnett, who continues to struggle to get to that first Pro Bowl. He's had a very good year, especially coming off the ACL injury, and I think if he continues in this scheme, he's definitely got a shot to go next year instead. So that's our question today. Thanks for the question, Sean. I appreciate it. And we're going to be here the next 2 days into 2010. And there's the Green and Gold Today phone, so we're going to connect for that show in a minute. But you will notice there'll be a lot of Oregon this week for those of you keeping track of my wardrobes, because obviously the Ducks play in the Rose Bowl on Friday. Don't forget to send your questions. If you want me to use one of yours, either send it in email form to jwilde@espnmilwaukee.com or espnmadison.com, or you can send it via Twitter, as we always talk about at the end of these, so you can always use that as well. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.